This is Souq Waqif.
Were I here 250 years ago when the Souq was first founded, I'd actually be wading through water now. Originally, the Souq was created to be adjoining the shoreline, so anyone bringing their goods in by ship, pearls, livestock, fish, could do so and then easily access the Bedouins, the traders coming from the desert, coming from the inland here within the Souq. Today, what we find is the shoreline has been artificially pushed back, land has been reclaimed. Behind me now we have a park, some construction, which is typical for Qatar, and you can still access the shoreline along what's known as the Corniche and get on the traditional boats. So just about like with any market throughout the world, often the best time to come is early morning. Here it's about 7 a.m. and things are just being set up. The shops are beginning to open. They also seem to, for want of a better word, hassle you there less at this time. It's just about time for the pigeons to wake up. A lot of the stalls are still shut. So Souq Waqif itself is 250 years old. However, what we're walking around inside today was largely restored following a devastating fire which gutted the place in 2003. What they decided to do was to restore everything, bring it back, but make it look as it did in a traditional Middle Eastern Souq. So they raised after the fire anything that was more modern than 1950 and recreated, enlarged with the right sort of safety features and so on, even put air conditioning in. It's nice and cool in here today. Brought it back to life. So what you have now is really this feel of, it is Aladdin-esque, it is like walking around in a labyrinth. It is everything you imagine a Middle Eastern Souq to be. You get lost. Of course, yes, there are signs and so on, people are very friendly, but you get lost, you turn a corner, you see something completely different, and it's fantastic. And it's not just a sort of Disney-esque market, not just a sort of Disney-esque, it is a functioning market with people earning a living here, with locals coming here as well to buy what they need and so on. So it's very much still alive. I do just simply find it one of the absolute delights of the Middle East after lunch, when you're hot and you need to just chill and digest a little bit, is to come and find a place where you can smoke a shisha. And I walked past what looks like a rather fancy restaurant earlier, and I saw that they had them. Souqs, or bazaars, call them what you like. We have evidence of them existing in North Africa, the Middle East, Asia, going back to 3000 BC. And traditionally they grew up at sites where caravans would come through. So they were normally built outside city walls, in places where traders would pass through. The caravan would come, would stop, the merchants carrying goods up and down the Silk Road from all over this part of the world would stop there for the night, and locals from the nearby towns could come out, stop near the inn of the caravan, and basically essentially trade. It was also a way to catch up on news and so on. And the Souq developed as a temporary market outside of city walls that would coincide with the passing of trade. And then later on, as trade developed and caravans became more regular, the souqs themselves became almost an attraction. They often grew up in sites close to the ruling palace, close to small towns or cities, close to a mosque even, somewhere where the traders knew that there were people, and somewhere where the people knew that there were traders passing. And they would evolve into what today we think of as covered markets. So they offered a protection against the elements, which here is absolutely essential when it's 40 plus in the summer heat. And also, by eventually being integrated within the city itself, there was protection. Whoever was the local ruler would protect the souq from raiders, from foreign armies, and so on. And it's led to these souqs and bazaars as we know them now. The world's oldest permanently purpose-built souq is probably the one in Istanbul, which dates back to the 15th century. And Souq Waqif, where I am today, is nothing but an extension of that. A beautifully restored, beautifully brought back to life extension of a tradition that in this part of the world dates back to something in the region of 3000 BC. And of course, where you have a souq, you have people, and where you have people, you need places to worship. So again, this is a place that is alive. In the center of the souq, just as the edge, as you come down towards the sea, we find this mosque, somewhere for the faithful to come and pray each day, several times a day. And again, it's part of the charm of this place, that it isn't just for tourists. Indeed, many of the signs on the shops and so on are in Arabic, they're not in English. And it does feel like this little enclave within the city that is very much alive. Another aspect to Souq Waqif is this, what they today call the bird market, what used to be referred to as the pet souq. Now, I've chosen not to feature it in this video. It's not for me to judge, but it's not my favorite part of the souq. But here you can come to buy birds, rabbits, pets generally. I tend to sort of pass through this part quite quickly. And I've also chosen to come here at the time when the stores are actually shut. So it's easy from the outside to, for want of a better word, judge these sorts of things, but sometimes we have a different way of sort of looking after our animals. But it's very much a part also of the souq, of the culture, to come here, and something that you may consider taking in when you visit Souq Waqif. The Souq Waqif really is, at times, like walking around inside an Aladdin movie set. It's beautifully restored, brought back to life since that fire, and brought back to life in such a way that transports you right back into your Arabian dream. And it's wonderful, frankly. So that's it for this visit to Souq Waqif. I hope you've enjoyed this short stroll around the Souq. It's now middle of the day. There's nothing much going on now other than mad Englishmen making videos. Even the dogs have found shade. The Souq generally closes down in the middle of the day, and it's time to leave. But for the next visit, we'll come back at night time when the Souq really comes alive. You see all the restaurants and so on. There's also two other components to the Souq which are worth visiting, which we'll show you in a different episode. The Falcon Souq, everything falcon, the national bird of Qatar. You can go and see them on display. You can go and buy a falcon, anything that you need for your falcon. And also the royal stables, well worth a visit as well. But that's for a different episode. But thank you very much for watching, and until next time, bye-bye from Doha.